Hi everyone and welcome back to Lily's Kitchen, and if you are new here then hello and welcome. My name's Alexis and I post 2 videos a week on a Tuesday and a Thursday at 7 AM. So if you love a recipe video like this one and you want to see more, then please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And now I'm going to share with you how to make my delicious apple and cinnamon flapjack. As I just mentioned, today I want to share with you how to make my delicious apple and cinnamon flapjacks. This year our apple tree in our garden gave us an abundance of apples, and I love making dishes with apples, but I normally only make apple pie or apple crumble as a sweet treat. I've never really tried anything else. So I wanted to try flapjacks with apple in. I tested these out on my little family. My husband and son love flapjacks, so I wanted to see if they would enjoy them with stewed apple in as well. And they did. So I'm going to make them again for them today because they like them that much. So while I was making them, of course, I thought I'd share the recipe with you. So here is how to make my delicious apple and cinnamon flapjacks. Firstly, I'm going to preheat my oven to 200 degrees. Next, I'm going to peel my apples. Once both of the apples have been peeled, I'm going to slice them in half and then into quarters, and then I'm just going to remove the core of the apple and I'm going to chop these into small pieces like so. I'm going to stew the apples. So for this I have about 50 ml of water. You may need a little bit more, you may need a little bit less. I'm also going to put a squeeze of half a lemon into the pan as well. And then I'm going to add the apples that I have just peeled, quartered and chopped. So I'm just going to add these into the base of my pan, like so. And then I am going to put the heat on to high, and when this starts to boil I shall bring it down to a simmer and leave it to cook until the apples start to soften. So you just want them nice and soft. It should only take about 10 minutes. The apples have come to the boil, so I'm just going to turn the heat down on this and I'm going to leave them to simmer, as I said, until they start to soften. While the apples are cooling, I'm going to mix together my dry ingredients. So in this bowl here, I have about 300 grams of oats. These are gluten-free oats. It's just simply because I have a slight gluten intolerance, but if you don't, then don't worry about the gluten-free part. You can use ordinary oats, that's fine. And then I'm going to add in about 50 grams of chia seeds as well. And then I'm also going to add in about 50 grams of flaxseed. Now you can add any sort of seed you want to. It's just these ones are quite small and my husband and son probably won't know they're in there, so that's why I always use these. But you could add pumpkin seeds, you could add some nuts to this as well if you wanted to. Pecans would be really nice in this, or you could add sunflower seeds as well. The decision is yours. And then I'm going to add, no, I'm not going to add that, I'm going to add that to my butter later. And then I'm going to add about half a teaspoon of salt to my dry ingredients as well, like so. And then I'm also going to add some ground sweet cinnamon. So this is the cinnamon part of the flapjacks. Obviously if you don't like cinnamon, you don't have to add this. And also if you can't get ground sweet cinnamon, you can always use ground cinnamon. But I'm going to add about a teaspoon of the ground sweet cinnamon. And then I'm going to add about a teaspoon of baking powder as well to this mixture, to the dry ingredients. And then I'm just going to mix these together until everything is well mixed in. And now I'm going to deal with my wet ingredients. This plate here I have chopped up about 150 grams of butter. So I'm just going to put this onto a medium heat and I'm going to put the butter into the saucepan and I'm going to let the butter melt down and then I shall add the sugar in, but I'm just going to let the butter melt down first. The butter has melted, so now I'm going to add in my sugar, and I'm going to mix these two ingredients together like so. And then I have one more thing to do with the butter and the sugar, but I will take you back to where we started. So I've mixed the butter and the sugar together, and I'm going to pour those in the blender, but before I do, I just thought I'd explain that I have about 150 grams of medjool dates here. I've removed the stones from them, and I'm going to throw those in with the butter and the sugar as well into the blender, and I'm going to blend all of these ingredients together, and this will hopefully make a very sticky mixture and will stick the flapjack together beautifully. So I'm just going to put all of these ingredients together now, like so, into this blender. I'm going to pop the lid on, and I'm going to blend all of these ingredients together. Wet ingredients have now been blended together, and they formed a toffee-like mixture in the blender. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this over the oats, and then I will add the apples in as well. But I'm just going to try and get all of it out of the blender. The more you can get out, the more the flapjack will stick together. So try to scrape it as best you can. Waste not, want not, as my grandmother once used to say. Bless Lily Giron. Yes, so I think that's as much as I can get out of there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix these ingredients together, as I said, and then I'm also going to add in my apples as well to the mixture. So I'm just going to grab this again, and I'm going to add in the apples, the stewed apples, which smell delicious, I have to say. I do love stewed apples. So yeah, I'm just going to continue to mix these ingredients together now. What I've done is I have lined and greased a square baking tin with greaseproof paper and a little bit of sunflower oil, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer the mixture from the bowl into the baking tray like so. I'm going to try and scrape it all out. Again, as my grandmother used to say, waste not, want not. So I'm going to scrape this all out, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I push the flapjack into the corners of the baking tray like so, and I'm going to try and flatten it down as best as possible before I put it into the oven. So once I've done this, I'm going to put this into the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes, or until it goes a lovely golden brown colour. So depending on your oven will depend on how long you need to put it in there for. Some people it will be a shorter time, some people it will be a longer time. I normally find about 20 to 25 minutes is enough time. So yeah, I'm off to put this into the oven. The flapjack has finished cooking, and as you can see it's a lovely golden brown colour. So I'm going to take this out of the oven and I'm going to leave it to cool. So I left the flapjack to cool completely. I took it out of the tin. So after about 30 minutes I transferred it to my cooling rack, and now what I'm going to do hopefully is cut this into pieces. So I'm just going to cut the flapjack like so, and I'm just going to cut it in the middle like that, and then I shall cut it down like that as well. You can make these pieces smaller if you want to, but my husband and son love a big piece of flapjack, and I will just show you the inside of that flapjack. So that's it. And it smells absolutely delicious, and I'm going to save this for my husband and son because they absolutely love it. That's how you make my delicious apple and cinnamon flapjack, and that recipe I will link in the description box below for you. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be giving some of this to my husband and son later, and I can't wait to see what they think of it. It smells so good. I may have to have a piece myself. Oh yeah, that's really yummy. Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And please feel free to leave any comments below. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you all soon. Bye.